Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to CL's channel for CAT aspirants, our MBA YT channel. Let me just get your chat fixed on my phone before we start off. As you know, this series is on passages which are patterned on CAT. I try to um use questions which are similar to cat, genres which are similar to cat. The only difference is we make it slightly easier than cat. Now, many students have messaged me saying, "Oh, make it something different. Why are you always giving editorials?" They are the best sources for reading comprehension. The language is good, there there's an analysis of an issue, and your general knowledge also goes up. You develop a perspective on various events, on various issues. So I believe that that's the best. But today, taking your messages and your requests, I have actually chosen a passage from Aeon Essays. This is a passage from a genre called philosophy of ideas, but it is more about fashion, slow fashion, fast fashion, which was part of a cat passage. This is another aspect of it. And I hope you will find it. I have tried to make it not very challenging, moderate level. So let's start. All right. I'll give you, as usual, I'll give you a minute to read the uh, slides, and then just give me a heads up if you can see me and hear me clearly. I'm not sure my chat works till I can see at least somebody responding. All right, let's start. 1 minute. At least give me done when you finish reading. I'll give you a minute to read the slide. All right, 1 minute is up. Are you done reading? Can I move to the next slide? Yes, I will. Okay, start reading now. All right, 1 minute is up. Hope you're done reading. So, what is the first thing we realize is that if I take a passage which is not part of an editorial, the language will be difficult. The ideas are simple, but the language will be a little difficult. Let us see, having read a passage with the language was a little more difficult. Could you identify the main argument of the author in the passage? Let's quickly get your answers. These are tumultuous time for fashion and tumultuous times for fashion and industry. Luxury can be found both in high and everyday experiences. Luxury defined by craftsmanship and artistry remains significant, or there is matchless beauty and creativity in luxury. Which option do you think captures the author's main argument? Is it A, B, C, or D? Okay, I've got two answers so far. Let me go back to the passage. All right, first one. Italy may be the leading manufacturer of luxury goods, but it's not the only place where artisanal means artistic or traditional, okay, as against something that is mill created. Expertise is being appreciated and protected. Across the globe, makers of luxury products in every imaginable category are working hard to emphasize slow values, artisanship, craft, and authenticity. So, don't you think the main point is something to do with artisanship, craft, and authenticity? First paragraph, he says, everywhere there is now a focus in luxury products on artisanship, craft, and authenticity. That is the first paragraph. And then he tells you how there are fashion weeks which are challenging the Western dominance of luxury. Luxury can be found everywhere, Africa, China, everywhere. This kind of slow values and ancient skills are being preserved and promoted. That is paragraph 1. Paragraph 2. So first paragraph is about luxury goods. Now there is more and more focus on luxury goods, but with emphasis on artisanship, craft, and authenticity. First paragraph. Second paragraph. Does luxury matter in a world in frantic turmoil? I would argue it does. In our world where everything is chaotic, everything is frantic, does luxury matter? Our author says, yes, it does. Craft has long been considered the poor cousin, inferior to high art. But for you to call something art, does it have to hang on the wall of a gallery? There is artistry plenty in what you can do with fabric, and the pleasure of fashion are more accessible than the kind of art you might find in a gallery. You can apply the word art to craft, as in what is worn in clothes, and sometimes that art is more accessible than the art that you find in galleries. It's not Art is not just about paintings or things that are kept in galleries. It can also be in clothes. Consider the massive fan base of Canadian fashion blogger Derek Guy, attracted after he began offering detailed commentaries on the dress sense of public figures. So this is what that art does not necessarily have to be, hello Amir, doesn't have to be paintings or art that is kept in galleries. It can also be art done with fabric or fashion. All right, that's the second paragraph. So does second part have something to do with art, artistry, fashion? Yes. So two paragraphs we've read is about art, artistry, craftsmanship, fashion. Sometimes we can apply the word art to fashion, to an haute couture dress, high fashion, hand stitched, hand embroidered, hand dyed, hand beaded, and made in a Paris atelier studio to embody the design vision of an inspired couturier. For some decades now, such pieces have become collectibles sought by private collectors and museums. When you have clothes, high fashion clothes, we can call it art. And these clothes made by high fashion designers are now collect, considered collectibles. Private collectors and museums are collecting design pieces. Coco Chanel, Christian Dior have all earned their places as artists along with Pablo Picasso and Gustav Klimt. So you have designers who are considered as good as any great artist. The enduring status of the greatest fashion is evidenced in the current enthusiasm among celebrities for wearing vintage or vintage inspired pieces. Great fashion, he says, has an enduring quality. So now celebrities want to go back to old, vintage inspired fashion pieces, and you find them, they're wearing them on in luxury brands, on red carpet. So now the new generation is redefining second hand as something covetable and collectible. Last paragraph. My personal journey through fashion has taught me that luxury can be nurturing, it can be a positive force. Luxuries can be large, can be small. It doesn't always, if you can't afford the luxury of a big fashion brand, you can do it. You can also find it in everyday life, right? Then he talks about Maria Claudia, who was former Melly's employee, who left that company and wanted her own patisserie. What did she do? She made her own signature item, strawberry blueberry miniature custard tart, which the author calls heaven in the mouth, in a mouthful. He says, okay, if you can't afford one of those luxury uh, fashionable clothes, you can at least have a patisserie, pastry, and then tell me luxury doesn't matter. So he believes it's all about fashion, luxury, art, and craftsmanship. These are the key words. So now are you still saying that B is the main argument of the author? It's one of the points that you can find luxury everywhere, not and everywhere means not just in the West, also Africa, China, everywhere. But is that the main argument? Let me see if you want to change it. These are tumultuous times for fashion and luxury. Has he mentioned that? Luxury can be found in everyday experiences, yes, but this is not the main argument. Luxury, defined by craftsmanship and artistry, remains significant and it is important. That is the author's main point. All right. Question 2. What is the role of the first paragraph of the passage in relation to the rest of the passage? Right? So, what is the first paragraph? Go back to the first paragraph. I'll give you about 30 seconds to read it. Here to here. All right. Now, let's go back to the question. What is the role of the first paragraph of the passage? Is it A, to highlight Italy's prominence in luxury manufacturing? Is it B, to introduce the topic of global appreciation and preservation of artisanal craftsmanship? Is it C, to lament how many regions of the world do not value craftsmanship? Or is it D, to compare the relative value given to craftsmanship in Italy and other regions? That means, is he saying in Italy this is the value, in other places this is the value? What is the answer I've given? So the correct answer is B, because after this he is talking about global appreciation. In Japan, they are called living legends, and how different cultures are preserving artisanal craftsmanship, which makes fashion and luxury relevant in today's time, important in today's time, which is what the author is talking about. So, yes, the correct answer is option B. All right, good, excellent. The author believes that luxury is relevant today. He says yes. Why? He believes that luxury is relevant in a world of turmoil because now there are two ways to answer this question. If you remember it, you can look at the options and mark it. I would always tell you read the options and always cross check with the passage, because one word can make you mark the wrong option. But just read it quickly and I will show you the passage. Is luxury relevant? Yes, it is. The author says. Why? It embodies beauty and creativity that can enrich our lives. It glorifies everyday experiences and common life. It plays the dual role in turmoil driven communities, or this is not IR, it fosters life coping skills through appreciation of artisanal skills. Question 3, what do you think is the answer? Let me take you back to the passage. Second paragraph, the answer is there. Read it for 20 seconds. No question marks. Anmol, you have to be confident of your answer. B question mark, I'll not accept. B full stop, I'll tell you after you finish reading this, whether it's correct or wrong. All right. So he says, does luxury matter in a world of turmoil? It does. Why? Well, craft is normally considered inferior to high art, but does it have to be art to hang on the walls? It can be artistry. Fashion can be a form of art, right? Because it affects everybody, right? Fashion can be a form of art. And then he goes on to say that we can apply art to fashion, and artists are no less than fashion designers are no less than great artists. That's what he argues, right? Then he says that fashion has great enduring power, because people are going back to vintage things, and luxury and fashion is positive, nurturing. It can be everywhere. It doesn't have to be only in museums and galleries. So, what is the author believes that it is? What will you sum up all these reasons that he gives? Is it because it embodies beauty and creativity that can enrich our lives? Is it because it glorifies everyday experiences and common life? Has he mentioned this? Your everyday experience, the part where he is eating, he's talking, but that thing about the cake or the patisserie that she has opened is more about creativity. Heaven in a mouthful is more about creativity. So it is not about art glorifying everyday experiences, but luxury, fashion captures art, beauty, and creativity, and all these enrich our lives. This is what he is saying in sum. The other three are wrong. What do you mean by dual role? What is the turmoil driven community? He says in our turmoil world, but what dual role? It's vague. What dual role is it talking about? Life coping skills, what does it mean? If you really look at it, it's about beauty, creativity, appreciation. It's everywhere. It doesn't have to hang in a gallery. It can be part of your clothes, it can be part of the food you eat. And so it's all about beauty, craftsmanship, and creativity. Therefore, the correct answer is A. All right, you asked for an abstruse passage, I gave it to you. How does the author justify? See, this is a direct question. He says, I can use art to describe high fashion. How does he justify using art to describe fashion or high fashion? By highlighting the recognition given to designers, he has mentioned, by praising how second-hand pieces have become collectibles, by the spread of fashion in various cultural landscapes, the first paragraph, or by emphasizing the intricate craftsmanship involved in high fashion. Let me quickly take you back to the passage on how the author says, can we dare to apply art to fashion, to a high fashion dress, to a hand embroidered, hand dyed, hand beaded inspired couturier? He says yes. Why these pieces have become collectibles? People have sought them, they have thought of them as music pieces, so these pieces have beauty and value. Second, the people who are creative and creating these pieces are considered as great as the greatest of people who are painters, and they are enduring. These are the three reasons he has given. So, what would go? Yes, I made it such that there is always confusion between A and B, between B and C, or all options. All options he has mentioned the recognition given to designers. He has mentioned how art has become second-hand collectibles. This is in the first paragraph. But what is he mainly talking about? He is saying, yes. Can I mention? Look at the first line here. Do I dare call it art to fashion? Can we call a high fashion design a hand stitched, hand embroidered, hand dyed, hand beaded, made in a Paris atelier? Can I call these art? And so that, in other words, he says sometimes we can dare. Yes, we can call it because of all these features that it has. One, it is fashionable. Second, it is creative. Three, it has all these traditional artisanal crafts, embroidery, dyeing, beading, everything is artisanal, means traditional, done with the hand. Okay, so his all the reasons go up to say that yes, you can use art to fashion because it has all this. We can do it to fashion. It has all these intricacies. It's hand stitched, hand embroidered, hand dyed. It involves all those uh, traditional skills, craftsmanship, right? So it is about the intricate craftsmanship used in high fashion. High fashion is nothing. He has used the word haute couture. Haute couture. It's in French. All right. Next, what is the author's style of writing? I've kept the options very close. I've kept the options here also very close. Well, you people gave me feedback saying your passages are very easy. I said, all right, I'll give it to you difficult. Though I never believe in this. It's good. We'll do it once in a while. But the key is you have to read and see. In 1 minute, I read this passage. Did I get the first? Did I get the main point? If you're building your skills, guys, you're not playing. When I'm doing a class, I am helping you. It's like nets session for cricket. I'm helping you build the skills. Then you go and play the T20 when you take CAT. Giving you a very tough passage and close options is good once in a while. That our mocks are doing it. No, right? That's why I choose editorials which are easier for you. 1 minute reading, 2 minutes reading, I could answer 5 questions. RC practice for Saturday done. You go back feeling happy. Okay. Okay. What is discursive, detailed description uh, using various techniques? Okay. And it can be slightly digressing as well. So we don't have that. Is it argumentative? Has the author taken a stand and said that, this is what you need to? So is it descriptive or is it analytical? That's the question. Now, when you go back and see, just let's go back to the passage. Okay, where is the analysis here? First part, first para. Read the first para. What is it? Describing Italy is not the only place where artisanal expertise is appreciated. Across the world, artisanal expertise is being experienced and protected and appreciated. And he explains different places. He talks about Lagos, he talks about Japan, he talks about China. First paragraph is descriptive. Does luxury matter? Yes, it does. Okay, this is where he has taken a stand. After that, it's again a description. Art is not just what you find on a music wall. Then he describes Derek Gray, who got so many. Art is everywhere, and here you have people's interest in art. When somebody is talking about art, is there in fashion also. Okay, and then he describes about how artists, their work is being appreciated. So third paragraph is also descriptive. Fourth paragraph, description of his personal experience, little bit of narrative and descriptive. So overall the passage is not so much analytical as descriptive. There is a little here and there which is analytical, but primarily it is descriptive. There is a little bit. Is Can we consider fashion art? Can we dare call fashion art? Two, three places, how he has explained. But the main thing is describing how fashion has become luxury, fashion, the intricacies of craft, how we are tending to be attracted to all these and how they are important. So there's more description, less of analysis. At the end of the day, that is the author's point. Get it? So answer is B now. Close. Analytical elements are there, but it's primarily descriptive. All right. Okay. The concluding lines of the paragraph, he says, okay, you can't afford those branded sweaters at Melly's, doesn't matter. Take this. Just before the last line, how does he say? I went and this lady left Melly's and she used that creativity to start her own patisserie. And her best seller is an espresso, a miniature, over an espresso, no, is a miniature custard tart topped with strawberry and blueberry. He calls that custard tart heaven in a mouthful. If you can't afford those high fashion clothes, you can afford a small piece of pastry. That is also, you are tasting luxury. Now you tell me that luxury doesn't matter after tasting that. Okay, that's what he says. So, what does it mean? Author is challenging those who criticize high fashion. The author is skeptical, doubtful about the money, or doubtful about the benefits because of high fashion, because of the money involved in high fashion. The author believes that luxury has intrinsic value in everyday life. Cooking and clothes are better when they are simple and understated. Luxury doesn't just have to be in high fashion clothes. Luxury can also come over a piece of custard, small miniature custard tart. So, luxury has intrinsic value in everyday life. A piece of cake, luxury. Pani puris in the Delhi street, luxury. All right, yeah. Uh, I mean, a well-made pani puri, a well-made chaat. It's all about balancing flavors. And can you imagine that guy who makes it? To me, that is luxury. Yeah, not that. Whatever. So basically, the you get the point, right? All right. Now this was little tricky, but let's see. We can at least try to. He ate that little piece, that miniature tart, and he calls it heaven in a mouthful. One mouthful he had, and he describes the cake. He calls the cake, the tart, heaven in a mouthful. What figure of speech has he expressed? What figure of speech has he expressed? Symbolism, personification, metaphor, allegory. eating, the experience of eating that cake is, or the cake itself, or the tart itself is heaven in a mouthful. What is it symbolic of? Symbolism is, let us say, the Statue of Liberty, or scales. A blind woman holding scales is a symbol of justice. She can't see and she's only weighing, she can't see anything. That is, justice is shouldn't be blind, it means it should be objective. Torch is a symbol of liberty. What is the symbolism here? There is no symbolism here, right? Yes, Sorish, you're correct. Okay, personification is giving personal traits, attributing personal traits to an inanimate object. Now here it's a tart, and heaven in a mouthful is not the experiences. It's a metaphor. Why? Because the cake is called, the tart is called heaven. Okay, he says, not like you feel like it is, therefore it is. What's an allegory? A story where you have, which has, the meaning is, so the story, the characters, the story is at a different level. Literally it means something, but it has a deep symbolic meaning. That's an allegory. For example, like Animal Farm, it's not about, well, when you read it, it's fun, it's like pigs and cats and horses and all that. But when you read it, it's about, there's a deeper meaning. Each of the characters, each of the animal characters in the story represents a person or a segment of communism. That's what he wanted to show. That's what is called an allegory. All right. So it's not an allegory. Now, through elimination, also you can come to this. I deliberately use this to make it a little trickier. All right. Because the feedback I got is your passages are too simple. I said, okay, I will give it to you. Bouncer के बाद bouncer मैं भी दे सकती हूँ. But that is not the point, guys. Okay, we go. I will give you philosophy passages once in a while, but let's go back to editorials where I want you to read it in each slide in a minute, and then give me the answers. At least 3 out of 4 questions correct. All right. All right, Anmol. The passage, the questions I took about 3 days to make it. As in, I have other work too, but I said this YT session is there. The students wanted a tough session, so I wanted to give you something tough. Then I sat through, made options, and then I didn't. I'm when you make options, you have to be in a mean mood, not in a very good mood. Khana wana khake, if you make options, you'll make laddus. So you're in a mean mood, you're hungry, you're tired, then you say, okay, let me make a tough question. Itna tough banaungi ki koi answer nahi kar payega, but what's the passage? When I started making content, my guru told me two things. If you make a question so easy that everyone answers it, it's not a good question. If you make a question so tough that nobody can answer it, that's also not a good question. A good question is what prompts a student to think. One where he says, okay, hang on, no, this is not correct, and go back and read the passage 2 3 times and say, now this is the answer, I'm quite confident. That is a good question. All right. Okay. Will do. Will do. I will see you again next Saturday, and at the same time, and with one more such passage, maybe on another topic. But I still miss my editorials. All right. Whatever you want, we will give it to you. All right. Okay. Take care. Take care, guys. Bye bye. And have happy Navratri. We'll read at the same time, we will enjoy the pujas. Right? Okay. See you guys. Bye.